When somebody arrives at my gate, I no longer get the boring notification that I used to get. I now get a full-on phone call. Allows me to answer the phone and then immediately hear what's happening, talk back to them, take quick actions such as opening the gates, sending a message or doing something else. Takes the camera feed from UniFi Protect. Speaker talkback happens through Sonos. So now we're going to talk about how I built it, what it does, and talk about all of its features here. The original problem was never really the video. I could always go into the UniFi Protect app and see what was happening and see the camera. The problem was urgency and interaction. The doorbell notification was easily missed. By the time you'd opened your phone, you'd gone into the UniFi Protect app, you'd seen who it is, you'd then maybe gone into a different app to take action, such as opening the gates. It took a little while, and that just turned out to be too slow. It was easily missed. iOS already had exactly what I wanted, an incoming phone call. It took over the system, it made it prominent so that you knew it was happening. You couldn't miss it. You can't miss a phone call. You can then be taken exactly where you want to go, into whatever app, presented with immediate controls. Audio is instantly available, video is instantly available. I am just sending a PushKit notification to generate a VoIP call on the device. It thinks it's a regular phone call. It shows up in your phone call history exactly like any other phone call would. So let me talk you through the flow. We start with the doorbell. This generates an event within my home automation system. Within this home automation system, we know that that event is a doorbell. We generate a push token for the VoIP phone system that we send to Apple's push notification system. This sends it all the way to the iOS devices that need to know about it. They are registered to a PK push registration that did receive an incoming call. They provide a CallKit provider incoming phone call, and then they present the incoming phone call UI. When you click accept on the incoming phone call UI, this reaches out to UniFi Protect to get a WebSocket version of the WebSocket stream from the camera to show in the app. This is the quickest way to do it. I tried HLS, didn't work. WebSocket was the way to go. Then when you enable Talkback, we generate a new WebSocket to talk back to UniFi Protect or to the home system, depending on how we're doing it, to send back your voice to the cameras or to Sonos, which is not on this graph. When you press a button, that goes straight from the iPhone to the home automation system, fully secured to open the gates or do any one of the other commands that are available. So now let me show you how this actually works. Let's look at some code for a physical, real-life demonstration. So as you can see here, this is sending a test request to my internal home automation system. We've got recipients, camera ID, caller name, expires in, the bundle of the application, and then whether we're enabling talkback and whether we're doing talkback to a speaker or to a camera. So let me explain these in a bit more detail. This is the list array of users that we want to send the notification to. So if it was like Thomas, it'd be Thomas, somebody else, somebody else. Pretty simple. This might be something different depending on how your automation system works. Then you've got camera ID. Then you've got side gate for the caller name. This is what shows up on the lock screen. Expires in. This is essentially how long does the phone call ring for. The bundle is the application. So this is my home application. And then we're just saying whether we got talkback enabled. Down here, you can see the response from the server. It's given it a unique identifier. It said the recipients. It's got the camera, talkback, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. Then we've got some commands. So we've got a standard command of open gates. And then we've got some additional buttons that we're providing, such as open gates, open side gate for 5 seconds, leave a parcel, someone's on the way, no one in. These are the quick actions that appear in the app immediately so that I can press these and the status is ringing. When somebody answers, it changes to answered, etc. We can view that live status here in the app. The key thing that was important to me was the fact that there was a recipients array and that we can configure down to the exact device that the phone call rings on. Because not all requests are for everybody. So the side gate, yeah, we want all of us to ring. But say I wanted a doorbell on my office door, for instance. That I only want to ring me. If they press it, I don't want it ringing them. That's pointless, isn't it? So we had to make sure this was configurable down to the device, down to the application layer, all of that. So now you've seen how we generate the incoming phone call. That then goes through Apple's push notification system, which sends it directly to the device. It then comes into the device here on this push registration function that says there's an incoming PK push payload and the push payload type. We can then decode that payload, giving us key information such as the caller's name, the ID, and some other has video information. We then report to the system, this is iOS on the phone, that there is an incoming phone call. Then it knows, oh, I've got to present an incoming phone call with these parameters. It's pretty simple. Obviously, we bail out if there was an issue with the incoming request. So that generates the incoming call screen on the user's device. When the user has pressed the answer button on the standard call screen, the app then gets handed back the additional information so that you can then action the answered phone call. This will be where we present our custom UI, update the status of the phone call to be answered, etc. So here you can see that the provider gets an incoming answered phone call action. We then check that we have an active call. So up here, we will have saved the active call. And then if not, we fail. For some reason, we're accepting a call that we don't know anything about. We then prepare a call audio session so that you can hear the person and talk to the person. We fulfill the action, we start the media, and then we update back on the server side that the phone call has been answered, so that the phone call on the server side isn't still waiting for you to be answered. One of the key requirements when the app opened to show you the camera and the actionable buttons was it had to be quick. Latency was high priority. Originally, we were using TLS. If you're not familiar with TLS, it generates like a script that says, play this video, then this video, then this video, then this video. And it goes and requests those videos individually. This worked okay, but it gave us like 5 to 10 seconds of latency. Now we're using a WebSocket. The reason we're using a WebSocket is that's the native layer supported by UniFi Protect. It allowed us to essentially copy that with global authentication to allow us to access that on our mobile devices publicly. Obviously, we're not using UniFi Protect's authentication for this. I'm using my own custom layer. Here is a simple snippet of the upgrade request that comes in. So if we're getting an APNS camera live or talkback session, we match that URL and validate that that is where you're going. We then validate that you are using an authentication token of TDS authentication, which is a JWT, but that's beyond the scope of how this works. We then upgrade that to a Protect WebSocket client. This is essentially meaning we're doing some sort of proxying. The traffic is coming in here, doing some logic and going out here the same, but this side is authenticated against UniFi Protect. This side is authenticated against me. Those WebSocket fragments are then sent into iOS where they are natively handled by the system and an AV player. We're not using any sort of embedded web view or anything like that. We're natively handling the 264 encoded videos in iOS to make it the best and most reliable. The audio session gets natively attached to the incoming phone call. That way you can hear the phone call even if you're not in the app, so you're in a CarPlay session or an otherwise connected audio session. The next step was the buttons. We've handled the audio, we've handled the video, it's now the buttons. I wanted the buttons to be completely configurable from the server side. You might want to send different buttons for different doors, and I don't want that to require a new update to the app. So in the server metadata that goes along with the push token is all of the information for rendering the buttons to make them look like this, and for where they send their network requests. The button code in the app is very straightforward. It looks like this. It's a standard view. We get the call manager. The call manager loads all the commands. We just show the most prominent buttons. And obviously we have an end call button. This sends an end call command to the call manager, ending the call, sending an end call back to the server system. The next step is Talkback, because this was key to how it was going to work. I needed to be able to talk back to the person. So we're doing this through two ways. the UniFi Protect Talkback API for cameras that have a speaker so that you can talk natively out of the camera. And then through Sonos, we are checking whether we are providing a binary feed on the message. And if that state is a binary feed and we've opened a WebSocket back to Talkback, we can send those frames there. Or we can use the Sonos client listening database to send the audio data straight to a Sonos speaker that's in the same room. We can configure this in the initial payload. And well, that's kind of how it works. So now that I've explained it all, I think we need a demonstration. You want to see it in action, don't you? So let me bring you here and show you a full, complete, end-to-end demonstration. Okay, I can't think of the ideal way to show you this, so I'm just holding my phone. I'm going to press the button, and I'm going to hold you in such a way that you can see me both click the button and see the phone. So when I do that, you can see it sent it, and it's already ringing. It's super fast. I then click accept, takes me into the app. You can see it says gate phone, side gate, incoming call, the camera ID. It's got the image of the camera. Obviously, this is not the side gate camera. I can unmute Talkback and mute Talkback. Then I get the quick select options and the end call button. These quick select options send the relevant stuff to the relevant places, and ending the call ends the call. Just to wrap this one up, I just want to say I hope you've enjoyed. If you've got this far in the video, you're clearly into the code, the software, and all of that sort of stuff. I like to do a bit of that. If you want some more of me talking about some code, deep diving and all that sort of stuff, let me know, because I'm unsure. But yeah, this was a good project. I only took a couple of hours, maybe a bit of help from ChatGPT, but definitely worth it. So much better. We have missed 0 doorbell requests since I implemented it. How many had we missed before? Who knows? I wasn't keeping track, but I am now. So let's see how it goes.